And one content creator is literally blaming the audio for him not being able to create content. This video will talk about the $1 million raid and also the stuff that's been happening in the Tarkov community. Mainly a lot of the content creators complaining and the community being unhappy. As you can see, a lot of the content creators are complaining because they can't think of content to create because they believe the game is to blame for that. Now, all the bugs and stuff, you can talk all day for that, but it's not actually that big a deal content creating wise. It's you got to get around it. Now, the big thing is that the community, after 2-3 months, they either stick around or go find something else to play, so the content creators have less people watching, so they create less content and then complain and all that. So it's more to do with the content creators and the community than actually BSG. Now, the cheaters, BSG can't really do much about a lot of it because it's in all levels of esports, all the way up to pro gaming. And even some of your biggest favorite people that pretty much BSG is in line with or listening to or listen to their communities aren't necessarily all above board. Now, this is nighttime, so do forgive. Try to make it as bright as possible. But you'll see in a little bit why it's a very, very, very profitable little scab raid. Now, the message here is to take your opportunities where they come. I did not go into this raid looking for anything except go to the military checkpoint and try to find the key, because that key is worth around 220k on the flea market, and obviously that's a nice little pretty penny. And that's when I figure he's not actually AI, because I'm pretty sure AI doesn't do that. And I'm standing around watching his back. I'm not actually sure that there's anyone up there. The other guy seems to be. And yeah, his time doesn't go very well. Now this guy actually makes a huge mistake. He reloads and you can hear him reload. I don't want to push because I don't know where he is, because once you reload and you got that few seconds where you can't actually shoot anyone. And then he decides to try to throw a grenade instead of push me. I would have been dead if he had to push me. So I move back, try to find a little spot. He's playing hide and seek. Now, you got to try to read the situation as you come. This guy, I'm thinking, not that good. And based on his inability to see or shoot things accurately, I make up the decision that he's not wearing night vision. Because obviously night vision allows you to see in the dark. Now, I'm looking around, can't see him. I'm wondering where he is. And checking my stuff, see what I got. I got nothing for nothing. And then I hear footsteps. I'm guessing this guy's trying to push me. And yes, the audio is a bit weird. I'm not wearing headphones, so that's one thing. But I can't tell which side of the tanker it's actually coming on. And yeah, trying to have a cheeky peek, and there he is. And he got 3 good shots, one in my arm, one in my chest. The Packer actually took a bullet, and one in my other arm. Now this guy was top loading mags. He has BP in the top and PS in the bottom. Now, obviously, my healing and stuff is a little inept, and that access keycard became more valuable a couple of days after this raid. I thought that was him, but obviously that yell, I knew as soon as it yelled, it was a scav. From that moment, it was, oh well, that scav's gotta take a bullet, because we aren't taking the risk that they're gonna run off, shoot us in the back. You need to make clear-cut decisions like that sometimes, and I don't like getting bad fence rep as much as the next person, so it was a decision I didn't really like making, but based on the reactions, I think it was a player, so if it was you're that player, sorry. Now the guy didn't have a bandage, because I do have a light bleed still, and I'm getting quite bad. I worked it out that pretty much on all my limbs except for my head, I get down to about 50% or less, and my head about 25%. Because I don't actually check my health at any point. Now, up until I actually saw his body, I didn't actually know where I got him or not. That AK, all the parts and everything, go for around 430k at the cheapest. And this guy's 31, I did double checking, and he's got certain traders at the level which you can't buy a lot of the stuff cheap. So he would have paid quite a penny for that. As you saw, it's almost 500k gun. And now, luckily, we get a grizzly, put his rig on, and he actually was wearing night vision. He just not very accurate, or just one of those days. Now I take his tack. Oh, I was wearing ears. Okay, I don't like those ears then. Now this is a bit of a bad loot situation, because I get a bit flustered. I know I'm dying. I should be fine with the heal, but I'm trying to loot. I know I'm still injured, and yeah, I get a little bit flustered. Need to just settle down and figure out what you're doing. I eventually figure out, oh yes, I am taking his bag, not mine. I need to put stuff in. Take his bag. I could have fit the pliers, but at the moment I didn't see it, and it's not that big a deal. It's like 10-15k or something from the therapist. Now I heal, and this is where we see I have 9 and I've already healed. Obviously it's been healing the rest of me, but if I didn't actually see that and it started healing everything else, I could have possibly actually died and lost everything. Over $1 million worth of loot gone. And yeah, I'm healing. At this point, I'm thinking I'm just getting out. No point trying to be greedy. Obviously I got pretty good stuff. There's some stuff that isn't worth all that, but I'm taking whatever. And me trying to do stuff, I then alert everyone to where I am. And yeah, I keep reading Old Road Gate as the old gas road, so I start heading over towards gas station, but I soon figure out. But let's go back while we watch me try and get out and talk about some of the Tarkov community stuff. Now, a lot of the issues people have been having, I'm not a developer or anything, but I'm assuming based on the fact that BSG does update things when they can, can't be updated, or it's within their schedules or whatever. And they got technical things coming up they're sharing more, they're doing everything more, and a lot of the top content creators, the same ones that are all BSG's awesome, BSG this, Tarkov's awesome, at the start of the wipes and stuff, but get their content being watched and everything, are the same ones complaining now that they can't make content and blaming the game. And one content creator is literally blaming the audio for him not being able to create content, which is just rubbish. It's lazy content creators, really. And you'll find it more and more happens the longer this game exists. The older the content creators are in the game, so the ones that have been playing it since 2, 3, 4 years, even more, they'll get lazier and lazier and lose sight of why they play the game. They'll just think of the money they can make from each session or whatever. And then some will turn around and start playing the game for fun again. Others, you'll see their content will just drop off and it will be obvious that it's just for money. Here I actually hear a scav, and I remember we shot a scav. And obviously you shoot a scav, you're a scav trader, and the scav sniper was still up. And yet we decide we're not going to scav checkpoint or the far corner. We are getting out by dorms. And so a lot of the issue with the Tarkov community is created by the content creators because they talk it up, they clickbait it, they don't actually stop the negative chat or have it in a conversation where it's constructive. It's just full on negative. Only a few content creators are actually, yes, these are the issues that need to be fixed. These are the issues that are unacceptable, even as a beta, but positive. A lot is just, oh, these are all wrong, this is terrible, and everything, and I can't make content, or BSG's fault, blah, 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 blah. And no actual constructive criticism about it. Which is terrible as a content creator because you're not meant to create a negative environment. It's actually part of the rules for a lot of the content creating sites, actually. If you create a negative environment, you can actually be banned from that particular thing. Because obviously, it's bad for people's mental health, bad for business, bad for their content that they're putting out. They don't want to pay you to be negative. Now there's a fine line, obviously, between a negative content creator and someone just having a whinge. But the more bigger content creators whinge, the more the community whinges, because obviously that's who they follow, that's who they listen to. So a constructive conversation needs to be had, not a negative one. Obviously, we are getting out. And no campers. You'll find a lot more campers on maps now that the access card's actually been put on the flea. A lot more geared guys and girls are just slaughtering scabs because obviously they spawn with the thing. And we got that guy with a headshot. And I'm pretty sure that guy probably reported me because, yeah, he just lost like $1 million worth of stuff. A gun that's worth like 500k. The emotional tilt he would have been in, he probably would have reported me. Just out of the emotional state he was in. Not actually for anything else. Which obviously I hope he didn't do, but I can understand the emotional tilt of it. And this is not the stuff that's on me, obviously, except for the PM. But as you can see, I've got the stuff spread out in my stash, what we have. And yeah, a nice little raid.